Hello and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 193, Scunt. In this week's episode, we don't know why we called it that.
I really don't know why.
JfG Ash is back from decorating. JfG Alex keeps going on. The Game Pass. There's not much out this week.
Christmas and that.
And finally, there's a cosmic dad in Street Beat.
Welcome, buddy. Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 193. My name is Alex and I'm joined by my good friend Ash. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. What a lovely welcome. And yeah, as always, I'm feeling good on a Wednesday. Yeah. Sparkling
festive
thoughts.
Wednesdays.
Festive Wednesday. Give me the hope to go on, buddy. Yeah. I've been absent the past 2 weeks, so I can only apologise for that. I mean, I have listened to some of the podcasts that you've done, and I've been mildly entertained. I'll put it that way.
Well, that's all I could possibly ask for. I mean, anything more than that, and it just doesn't feel quite right anyway.
Exactly,
so,
buddy. The amount of sarcasm was just right for me. Thank you.
Right? Yeah, just got that tone just about right.
Yeah, it's good.
Sort of the amount of sarcasm, you need to tread that tightrope between people kind of nodding along and people wanting to kill themselves. So it's important to get it there.
It's so close. It's on the cusp.
It's so close. That's how I do. It's what I'm known for. And it's going to be on my tombstone, buddy. So, you're all moved into your new abode, aren't you?
Yeah, you say moved in. We're in, and all the shit.
You're in there.
The stuff is in, yeah. But
yeah,
right now,
I mean that counts for me.
I'm in my game room, if you can call it that. It's like boxes. There's about 6 boxes, some shoes, and a few clothes just thrown on the floor. And
you're making a fort, yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a fort. Yeah,
making a fort, like it.
It's incredibly uncomfortable how I'm sitting right now. I'm on a chair, leant forward, like elbows on knees, kind of like you are, but more hunched over.
Okay.
Yeah, which is nice.
Well, that sounds like a riot.
It's lovely right now, to be honest. But hoping that my kids aren't going to wake up, so I'm being a bit quieter than normal, I must say.
That's okay, buddy. Well, I'll be double the volume just to cause intense problems during editing. How about that?
I'd love that. That would be fantastic.
I've got you.
Thank you very much. So like you said, I've been moving and decorating, and that's been my life for the past 2 weeks. It's been enjoyable, to say the least, I would say.
There's always so much upheaval, isn't it? Like moving a tool, but especially when you've got kids in tow and a house's worth of stuff.
It's
difficult.
Yeah, it's a bit intense. I'm a little bit worried about how my voice is going to sound, because like there's no dampening in this room and it's quite echoey. So
I'm sure people understand, but you definitely have got more of an echo this week. But that's going to naturally be the case. Once you get some shit on the walls and that literal human excrement.
I might do a bit right now. Just throw it up there.
Just slap it up there. Bit of soundproofing.
A lot of decorating. I'm absolutely bollocks at the moment, and there's still loads to do, which is ace. I think I've got 3 more rooms to decorate, including my own. So that's loads of fun and no one cares about it. I went to the Panto though, buddy.
Is this the famous Panto you go to every year that doesn't have anyone famous in it?
Yeah, no one famous that I know of anyway.
Almost legitimising it as a media, as an art form, which is troubling, to say the least.
It is.
How was it?
It was fine.
What was it this year?
Robin Hood and the Babes in the Wood.
Nottingham classic.
Classic Nottingham. There was a plentiful Nottingham jokes that everyone fucking lapped up, bar me.
Sure.
I was like, what are you on about, you local scumbags?
What do you mean, chip bam? Fuck off.
But yeah, it was good. Had a few beers, which always makes it better. And kids fucking loved it, so that was cool. Went to London town. I went to London on Monday, I think it was. It was my mum's 60th birthday. And we went to, where is it? Knightsbridge, is it? Where Harrods is or whatever?
Yeah.
And then there's a restaurant in one of the hotels there called the Rib Room, buddy. Oh my God. It was so good.
Oh shit, we're talking sort of hunks of meat here. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, no, it was roasts and stuff like that. So I had like I think it was like ribeye steak or something stupid with all kinds of bits and bobs with it. For starters, I had duck egg on like fucking what's the haggis or something with pulled pork and stuff. It was so good.
Naughty.
And obviously there was unlimited Prosecco as well, so I had a lot of that, which, isn't normally my go-to drink, I must say.
No, but perhaps when in Knightsbridge, you could say Prosecco always goes down smooth, buddy.
Indeed, buddy. So I don't know how much of that I drank, but because, it's unlimited. You just drink as much as you can.
As you can. Crucial. Gibbons, buddy. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and finally, buddy, really, because literally I've just been doing shit around the new house. I have played hardly any games. I managed to get on for a game night on Friday after I got the fucking internet after a week of being here, which was fun. It's always good. So yeah, I played a couple of games with you, and there was the Anthem closed alpha this weekend. So yeah, I can't talk about that because I played it.
It's all closed off, isn't it? But they've announced that there's going to be 2 more tests
in February,
and they'll be open
pre-order, and one if you don't, kind of thing. So
yeah,
there's still time to play that game, and I'll definitely be dipping my toe back into it. I mean, I'm talking about what we've been playing here, but it doesn't really matter. There you go.
I wonder if I'll get any preferential treatment being on EA Access for that Anthem.
Yes, you do.
Test.
You get access to the VIP one.
Righto. Okay.
Which is like a week before, I believe. So there you go, buddy. There's my couple of weeks. There has been many other things that have been going on, but nothing worth of any value to anyone.
Well, thank you for screening it beforehand, buddy.
You're
we
welcome,
all appreciate
buddy.
it. Me and the
welcome.
listeners included.
Given. So how about you? How's your week been, buddy?
Yeah, it's not been too bad. It's Christmas time, mistletoe and wine, and I'm delighted to say that we've got a beautiful tree this year, buddy. Absolute blinding tree. It's a thing to behold. It's riddled with I would call creepy decorations. That tends to be the way we go. so that's nice.
I like
we got
it.
that going. Lots of sort of beady-eyed hedgehogs and that sort of thing. So a polar bear suspended from the neck. Things like that. Christmassy things.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone there. We got. I had those paper chains up last year. I haven't gone down that road, and it doesn't look as good because of that. But I feel better in myself because I was about ready to swan dive out a window.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
together.
That was like a traumatic experience for you. That was, buddy.
It was. I've combated it by buying 3 extra sets of fairy lights. So we've got 7 sets of fairy lights on the go in our 2-room flat. So that's kind of made up the
Probably
difference.
Put some in the shower, buddy.
I am actually in the process of setting some up. I got some outdoor ones for the for the toilet, so that can be
in the toilet. Please,
round the bowl, and the towel rail.
Imagine if it was in there.
Just in the fucking loo. Just chuck it down there, round the seat. Just wrap it. So yeah, we've got the lights on the go. We've got the tinsel up. I'm feeling especially Christmassy, and I did a massive step towards finishing off my Christmas shopping today with an intense 15-item bulk buy on Amazon, which is all coming tomorrow.
That's nice.
That's how it's done. That's
well played, buddy.
Very much how it's done. So I got Mickey Bubbles on the go, buddy. The Mickey Bubbles Christmas album, and that's what's going on. Had last weekend, of course, it was Canada Day. The flapper pie was made, buddy.
Ooh, how was the flapper pie?
It was incredibly sweet, and I'm pretty sure it tasted how it was supposed to. I'm not necessarily going to go ahead and say that's something that I like, but it was right. It was interesting, and as expected with my weird dad, he hadn't eaten any of the traditional Canadian food because he emigrated in 1968 with a load of English people and lived with a load of English people. So he moved. He was living with some woman from Yorkshire. Like, they didn't have any fucking Canadian food for the whole time he was out there. They were just having like fucking meat and potatoes, like old school British slop.
Classic.
So he was trying out these Canadian dishes for the first time, buddy, same as us. But yeah, it was cool. I got some buffalo burgers. So we had the poutine, which is like the chips and the gravy.
Yeah, chips
loads
and
of
gravy.
shit. It was fucking great. Marinated these chicken wings for a day.
Nice.
With like all orange peel and dark ale and stuff. It was
tasty.
It was fucking special, buddy, I tell thee. So that went very, very well. What else have I been up to? Tuesday night, a friend of the podcast, Paul, came over and we went to the pub for the Liverpool and the Spurs games, watched both of them. Great atmosphere, both teams sneaking through in the Champions League.
Indeed,
to the knockout
they did.
stages.
Very sneaky. I liked it.
It was.
It's a bit tight.
Gibbons. And that is about me, really. Yeah. I got nothing else to fucking say, so we should probably go and talk about what I've been playing then,
What
I guess.
you've been playing, yeah.
Gibbons, let's go and do that. Oh, before we do, actually, can I just quiz you, buddy? What are you drinking this evening?
Okay, thank you. I was like, shit, quiz. And I mean, that's something I can definitely answer. Pub quiz. I'm back on the Piston Heads, buddy. It's still on offer, 12 for £9. I've got a couple of 6%ers here, and then like a cheeky 5.4%er after that. I'm good to go.
Oh, you're getting all juiced up. I can
buddy.
Respect that.
I need it right now,
Yeah.
If I wasn't a full-time drinker,
And what do these people do who don't just drink all the time? I've no idea.
I don't understand. Well, obviously, then the question needs to be now is what you're drinking, buddy. What are you drinking?
I have had some Kentish ale.
Nice.
Sainsbury's Taste the Difference.
Yeah.
And
now
I have to say that's my go-to is the Sainsbury's Taste the Difference. It's cheaper than all of the named beers, and often nicer. Their pails and stuff are really good. So I've been drinking quite a few of those. Right now, though, buddy, I'm on the pint cans of Stella, as is tradition.
Nicely done,
with the JfG
Nicely
podcast.
done.
So yeah, there you go. We will move on. We'll start talking about some games now because that's the topic this week, buddy. The topic of the podcast, in case you'd forgotten in your absence,
I love it.
Is video games.
Good news.
So as you said, buddy, you played a bit of Anthem, and also we got stuck into some F1 and some some Rocket League?
Oh yeah, no, it was Rocket League, wasn't it? Yeah, Rocket League was
game's
interesting.
Fucking never-ending fun, isn't it? Rocket League.
Always. It's always a good go-to if there's nothing else to do.
You at all tempted by that new Rocket League DLC, buddy? The McLaren 570S DLC pack?
No, I don't think so.
No, neither am I.
Okay,
No.
just checking.
No. Okay, well, shall I? I'll just get the ball rolling then, shall I?
Carry on. Please do.
Off I go then. Firstly, I want to talk about a game called Ashen. Which is
about me.
Your name, but there's a couple of extra letters
Yeah.
so that we can differentiate between you and this video game. But this is Ashen. This launched last week, and it was came out on PC and PlayStation 4 and Xbox Game Pass, buddy. So another game launching on the Game Pass service. Fuck me, this service is just honestly. It's so beautiful. I'm lapping up every little bit of it. But so Ashen is what is it? It's like an open world.
What is this?
It's like an open world sort of Dark Souls kind of thing, I suppose. You create a character at the start. It's a third-person action RPG. It's all voiced, and I haven't come across any dialogue trees yet, but you can kind of sort of rudimentarily reply to things. But yeah, you're this sort of... The characters are kind of weird. It's a beautiful art style, really kind of stark, and lots of sort of browns and purples. The world looks kind of... Well, it's supposed to be sort of ashy, but also kind of autumnal, I suppose. And it looks great, runs great. The combat is not especially intricate, but you've got kind of some nice blocking mechanics and stuff. And other than that, it's basically a sort of an open world questy RPG, a la, Skyrim or something like that. It seems quite interesting, and it's pretty tricky in the sort of Dark Souls fashion. You've got a situation where you can take big hits and die pretty easily. It's important to sort of time your dodges and your rolls and your blocks. You can also get shields that you can use, different types of weapons, like one-handed, two-handed. Really reminded me of sort of The Witcher in the way that you kind of equip your dude. And then, out into the world and doing quests and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty fun. You feel kind of vulnerable. And I think that's kind of the aim, which is, it's working out really well there.
Yeah.
And, I quite like it. It feels a tiny little bit one note. The story seems a little bit sort of generic, mythical RPG-ish. But the way that it handles and the way that it plays, there seems to be a great deal of interesting stuff in the world. The enemies as well. Like, I've come across 4 or 5 different sort of styles of enemy already. And I've only been playing the game for a sort of an hour or so. Normally, it's very much a bit of a copy and paste job with this sort of game. So, yeah.
It looks kind of JRPG to me.
It's got a little bit of that about it.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that, and it's got the thing that it reminded me the most of in terms of the art style was that Absolver, which Sony gave away on PS Plus a couple of months ago, and that was a sort of martial arts semi-open world thing, and it doesn't really play like that at all, but it does look a little bit like that. You've got kind of people with sort of eyes but no real nose and mouth, but you can put like facial hair on them, and it's got this sort of mythology behind it of this bird that brings the light and stuff. I don't know, I haven't really got into all of that sort of thing properly yet, but it's compelling enough that I'm enjoying playing it and looking forward to playing some more of it.
Nice.
And it's it's available on all platforms, and it's got some decent reviews, and it's a good time for a game like this to come out because there's no real competition at this point.
No, there's nothing in that kind of genre or anything out at the moment, really, is there? Which is kind of cool.
Gibbons. So that's Ashen, and no doubt I'll have more to say about that in the coming weeks. Next, I want to talk about a game called Observer, which is also on the Game Pass. There's a theme here. I'm not going to buy anything. But this is a very, very odd game. It stars Rutger Hauer from many, many things, Blade Runner probably most famously. And it basically seems to be Blade Runner in that you're playing as Rutger Hauer. He voices the whole thing, and obviously that's fucking brilliant because he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
The script's great, the world building's great, and the way it looks, it kind of feels a little bit like the engine's kind of struggling with the level of detail they've put into this, but it really does the sort of, I don't know, the horrible future, the sort of mangled like metallic corridors and the security cameras everywhere. It really feels Blade Runner-y. That's obviously what they're going for, and you're playing as a sort of android who is like in sort of Blade Runner, where you've got the Blade Runners trying to identify and catch robots masquerading as humans. You've got a sort of similar thing going on here, but with sort of truth and lies. Like, they seem to be a sort of android crime fighting unit designed to find out whether people are lying and then presumably fucking batter them if they are.
It says here you're an elite neural detective. Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. The puzzles are pretty full on. Like within the first 10 minutes, I was stuck in an apartment and needed to release the security system. It took me ages because you needed to utilize like all of your available abilities, and they've got this really quite elegant right and left bumper system where you've got different view modes, almost like the Terminator or Predator or something, and you can switch between normal, like looking at the world, and then I think on your right bumper you've got a sort of life vision thing where you can kind of see heartbeats, blood spatter. It allows you to do DNA scans on corpses and identify them and look up their files and stuff. And then on your left bumper you've got an electronic vision where you can kind of identify important components, panels, computers, software, and if there's a motherboard hiding in a cupboard that's attached and hooked up to something, then you'll be able to detect that with that vision. It's fucking in depth and just creates this incredible atmosphere. There are performance issues here, but when it's so completely enthralling, it doesn't really matter. Like it dropped sort of sub 30 a few times and sort of chugged away a little bit, but just so interesting that I didn't really care. It's kind of the novelty of having him in it as well. Like, I don't know.
The production values are there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it kind of pulls you away from things like frame drop and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can kind of let it off because you can appreciate what it's trying to do is so fucking bold and brash that you can kind of forgive it for falling over every now and again. So yeah, like I'm fucking balls deep in this thing. I can't stop playing it. It fucking
does
moorish.
Look like very, very cool. Like the environment, like you said, very Blade Runner. It's cyberpunk-esque. It does look very, very intriguing, I would say.
Totally, man. And the options that you've got when you're talking to the people stroke robots stroke creatures of the world, like there's all these different dialogue tree options. You can be like a complete asshole to everyone if you want.
Nice.
And I tested it out with a few of the NPCs that I met, and it really did seem to make a massive difference to how they responded to you, the information that you maybe got out of them. It's a real thinking man's game, and there's no sort of hand-holding there. I feel like if you get stuck, then you're probably a bit fucked, to be honest, because it's not going to baby you through it, nor should it. To create that atmosphere, it needs to be pretty cutthroat to the player as well as the story and the environment. So.
I do like the whole like cyberpunk kind of world, like the future,
great,
like 20. Have you watched what's it called, Altered Carbon at all?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, you need to watch that. It's the Netflix series. John, one of the guys that I play with, listens to the show. He got me onto it. There's only one season out now, but definitely worth a watch. Very, very cool.
Yeah, man. Like you, I'm well into this sort of thing, and anything semi-Blade Runner-y is fine by me. I saw the second film back in the summer and fucking loved every minute of it. Mm-hmm. It's obviously one of the things that I was thinking all the time while I was playing this game was, holy shit, I cannot wait for CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk offering. Like that's
it's going to be
the most hotly anticipated thing in production
definitely.
Right now.
Definitely.
Special times. It's that Hansel. So hot. So yeah, that's Observer. Really enjoying that. On to a couple of games that I have been kind of semi-playing over the last couple of weeks. Firstly, Quantum Break. I'm sort of steadily working my way through Quantum Break and really enjoying it. It's just a really fun sort of... I don't know, like it's just got a bit of pace about it. Like it feels a little bit throwaway. Kind of like Alan Wake, really. Like
I was going to say, is it a bit more entertaining than Alan Wake, though? Because in parts, that game kind of dragged quite a bit for me.
Yeah, pacing-wise, this is a lot better. But in a similar way to Alan Wake, that game felt like it was really fun, and I probably wasn't going to Like, there was no way I'd play through it a second time or revisit it, and I'd probably forget about it. But while I was playing it, I really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of getting that vibe from this as well. It's certainly much more interesting than Alan Wake because it's, all the time dilation stuff. It's very clever. Some of the puzzles that you need to do where, you're having to sort of reverse time to, if a roof's caved in, then you reverse time for 10 seconds so that a panel reappears that you can climb onto, and then you can make time fall down again, and then you're outside the building because the roof didn't fall on that specific bit.
That's cool.
Very cool. And the fights as well, they're really ramping up, and you're having to make use of all of these different effects that you've got, time bubbles, and you can shoot this like time torpedo thing at people and thrust them up in the air, and all of your enemies, you keep using these time weapons on them. Then by the time you've left an area, there's just like 15 corpses all kind of fucking hovering in the air, like with their arms up, like backwards, bent over, where you've killed them and frozen them in time.
Nice.
And the thing that really pulls it all together is the acting is so strong. The cast is excellent, and it can be a bit cheesy at times, the script, but when you've got people like Lance Reddick and that dude from Lost and that dude from Game of Thrones, it pulls it together really nicely. And it's just like watching a shit Netflix series, where it's just Moorish, and you watch through it and you really enjoy it. It's not exactly like the most fucking life-changing piece of content you'll ever see, but while you're watching it and you keep watching bit more, it's really just addictive and fun. So
nice. Well, that's the main point of games, buddy. Fun.
Givens.
There it is.
It kind of reminds me a little bit, in terms of how I feel about it, as to the way that I feel about the Deus Ex games. They're a bit corny, and there's nothing life-changing about them, but I just really fucking enjoy them while I'm in there. And then once I finish them, I never even consider touching them ever again. But while I'm there, I really, really like it.
Yeah, Givens.
So that's that. And finally, from me, buddy, State of Decay 2 is a game that I've been playing on and off for the last week or so. And just kind of feeling it out with a view to it's zombies, it's open worldy, there's lots of base building. I'm just trying to get a handle on how likely I am to play this with, I know that Funk's been sort of making noises that he's going to pick up an Xbox when he gets back, and it's just, is this the sort of game that could be like a really fun game world to be in?
Well,
co-op?
Can it compete with Ark, really, is what you need to be asking yourself.
Exactly. Like, he's got a penchant for that sort of game, and the sort of base building and crafting that comes with the Far Cry games as well. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this could be the game for him, especially with that sort of zombie element as well. This is by no means a particularly brilliant offering, and as I've said last week on the show, graphically very, very ropey, really sort of, pretty poor, to be honest. But the more I play it, the more amazed I am by all of the different things it's doing. Mainly the systems, the roster of characters, it's really clever. I've got like 3 or 4 camps now where I've just sort of taken over various houses on the maps, sort of fortified them, and I've planted like crops in the back, and then I've got like one of my houses, I've just got all like medical stuff, so that's like my hospital, and I've got like 3 or 4 dudes there who are doctors. But every NPC that you meet and recruit to your organization, you can switch to them. So if you've been using the same character for 2 or 3 days, they're a little bit injured, they're a little bit fatigued, then you can just go up to another character and hot switch to them and become them. And that just seems like a really cool mechanic, especially for a co-op game that you can play in a persistent online environment with friends. You can make these different groups, like raiding parties and stuff, and you can just hot switch between them. Maybe you'll go out and do one thing, maybe you'll go out and do this other thing. And the sort of volume of different types of enemies, you've got explodey ones, you've got banshee ones that sort of, you've got to try and take them down silently, and if you don't, then they'll scream, and then the horde will all kind of come running. coupled with this incredible base building experience where you can literally just plant down workshops and medical labs and farms and all sorts, like all over these bases that you put together. And then there seems to be a hell of a lot of quests and story missions and stuff as well. So it's kind of similar
to it then.
Yeah, because you know what it's like with games like Ark, where that thing's fucking ropey, but you can really like get your teeth into the systems.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can really, like you said, stick your teeth into it and get stuck in, because I mean it's endless what you can really do in that game, in the sense of building, capturing, and fucking God knows what else, and all the shit that I never even looked into.
Yeah, it's got it all, and this less so of the actual construction, but the fact that you can take over basically any man-made structure. So you can claim maybe like a billboard, one of these sort of risen billboards with the ladder up to it. You can kind of claim that as an outpost, and then you can just park a couple of snipers there, or you can switch to them or whatever. Possibilities are endless. I can see why people kept playing this game. Apparently it was very broken when it came out. It's still ropey. It does work though, but I can see why this is the sort of game that has this sort of never-ending underground following and always kind of will. And I've been really enjoying it, man. It's good fun.
Nice. I mean, overall, the Xbox One, good purchase.
I'm delighted with it. Obviously, I was in a lucky position having those vouchers, because it meant that I didn't have to spend very much money at this point. But as we'll get on to in the news section, in terms of the support they're providing for Game Pass and what I've got to look forward to, like in the future, like there's going to be a new Halo and new Gears next year, Crackdown. They're all hitting that service day one. I've got a console I don't have to buy any games for. And if you shop around for that Game Pass like annual subscription, like I saw it this week for £42 for the year. Like that's insane value.
It's so cheap, isn't it? It's the price of one game.
Yeah, it's the price of one game for 12 months of all of the games on that service. And there's so many games I haven't even touched yet. Sea of Thieves I haven't even booted up. Halo Wars 2, and it's got Halo Wars 1 on there as well, which I'm looking forward to revisiting.
Nice.
I've only briefly touched the Master Chief Collection. I haven't touched the Gears remaster or Gears 3 or Gears 4. Like, there's thousands of hours of games here, and it's incredible value. And the fact that the Xbox also boasts EA Access, if you're a sports fan as well, and that's like even cheaper. We're talking half the price of the Game Pass. It's quite the deal. I had a friend of the podcast, Paul, over in the week, and we've been playing some FIFA, like lots of FIFA. I've stopped playing PES completely.
What?
Yeah, FIFA is just a more satisfying experience. It just, unfortunately for PES, FIFA just fucking works, buddy. And so yeah, I've just been playing FIFA career mode. But he was saying, like, we were looking at all of the different available options, like all of the old games as well. Like, we're playing some Vegas 2. They keep adding more to the backwards compatibility. You've got all the Mass Effects on all the Dead Spaces on that EA Access as well. Like, and then on the Game Pass service, you've got like stuff like Dying Light, Dead Island, and Riptide. Like, there's just so much fun to be had. And he was sort of saying, despite the fact that the PlayStation's obviously much better, and it clearly is. Like, I hate the controller on this thing. This Xbox is horrible. And it's down on power, and you can tell that it's down on power. I mentioned last week in the show the loading times are fucking obscene on the Xbox. Just very, very underpowered. But Paul was kind of saying maybe we shouldn't, in hindsight, with the Game Pass coming out, and I don't think we made the wrong decision in 2013 when we bought the PlayStation.
No, 5 years ago we made the right decision.
We did. But over the last 2 years, the Xbox is probably the console better suited to us because of all of the co-op games on there and backwards compatibility. It just works really well. I mean, I haven't even mentioned other games I've been playing this week. Forza Horizon 4, I fucking adore that game. It's so much fun. Some of the 360 stuff on there that I've been getting into. I was playing Bad Company 2 last week.
Skate 3, yeah.
Skate 3 I've got downloaded, yeah. I've got that installed. Just, yeah, all sorts. That whatever that one, Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive, yeah. Like Skate Tony Hawk.
You need to play that.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. I think that's right up your street, that. But
sounds good.
Yeah, in terms of value right now, and with the way that the industry seems to be going in terms of how new games just seem to be, at least non-single player games, just seem to be getting worse in terms of what they've got on there, the way that they're put together, the problems with the loot mechanics and so on. I'm starting to wonder if this maybe is the way forward. So I think your ideal setup at this moment in time would be an Xbox One X. That would be the place to be right now in terms of the gaming landscape. But it's always grass is greener, isn't it? I mean, I was talking to my sister's partner at the weekend, and it was his birthday at the weekend, and he's picked up a PS4, and he's been saying he's fucking sick of the Xbox. There's no good games on there. He wants to play. He wants to play Uncharted. He wants to play Last of Us. He wants to play God of War and Horizon. And he said there's, the best 5 exclusives this generation are all on the PlayStation. So
yeah, and that's the thing isn't it? So yeah, it's like you said, the grass is greener when whatever on the other side and stuff. Yeah, we haven't had access to that, and now you have, and it's fucking amazing. And it's a fantastic service. Obviously, the best place to be is to have both where you are, buddy.
It's overwhelming. It's that's the best thing, is the fact that you've got all of those games all at once. That's kind of skewed things as well. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I'd recommend it. It's that Game Pass service is just the gift that keeps on giving, and we'll have a little bit more about that shortly, buddy.
Yeah, you'd think that Sony would do something about that.
It's just unbelievable to me that they aren't even trying. I mean, but then this is the pattern of Sony, and always has been. You look back to the end of the PS2 era into PS3. Yeah, they get ahead. They don't give a fuck anymore, and then you start getting get another job so you can afford our console bullshit. Like it's. They've been making the sort of noises that are like, we're so far ahead, we don't even need to fucking provide value, so we don't need to do anything like that. That's how it feels.
Yeah, totally.
It's not cool. So yeah, that's me, buddy.
Nice.
Selection of games there. And now it's time for the news. Fucking news. Alright. Number one indeed, buddy, as I open another of the pint cans of Stella. Number one. I've got fuck all news this week. Several reasons for this. Firstly, I recorded last week's show on Friday, so there's only actually been 3 weekdays since then.
That's not many.
And it's a week before Christmas, so there's very much nothing to report anyway.
Out again, yeah.
So here we go. Number one, Capcom.
Yeah,
I got there. Capcom has added in-game ads to Street Fighter V, designed to Capcom's words, remind you about costumes, bundles, and the Capcom tour. So this is ads for marketplace items, costumes for characters. All of them are, the freemium currency items, microtransaction items. They are now advertising those just all over the place. We're talking at the character select screen, off the main menu, in any of the modes you go into, there's suddenly all of these ads. Buy this for 79p or whatever. In Street Fighter V, these ads can be turned off in the options menu, but you get a massive currency boost if you leave them on. And the game's very, very fucking meager with its currency in the first place. So I think it'd probably be quite difficult for people who really enjoy this game and need that currency.
Turn it off,
yeah, they just stomach it. Correct me if I'm wrong, buddy. I'm pretty sure I'm not. This is probably the first instance of a AAA game adding in genuine free-to-play mobile game ad mechanics, like, the 30-second videos you watch to get an extra life on a mobile game and that sort of thing.
Big fan of them. Big fan.
I don't think anyone's ever sold something for 60 quid and then put those in. Even EA haven't done that in the past, or Activision. What the fuck do you make of this? Like, there's genuine sort of outrage in that Street Fighter community this week. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good, really. I'm trying to think back in the day. I can't remember it now. It was some racing game, like Test Drive, or not Test Drive. It was one of them anyway, where they had it was a full price game that you bought, but then they were selling like in-game like advertisements, like billboards and things like that, where advertisers could buy it and it would get updated regularly. This was fucking years and years ago.
I remember this. I can't remember what game it was.
Or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway,
I think you might be right.
So like this is a different take on that in a way. But yeah, the fact that it is exactly like the mobile gaming thing, like you say, you watch a thing and you get an extra life, or you get 500 gems, and it's disgusting to see in AAA games. Like it just shouldn't happen. Like they make enough money from the sale, or hopefully enough money from the sale of the game and whatever fucking bundaroos they chuck on the side and DLCs and everything, and then
they're already selling cosmetics. There's already a marketplace on there. They're selling all this shit.
Your microtransactions for all
now
that.
They're advertising it as well,
and it's just another slap in the face to us, really, and it's completely disgusting. And I just want it to stop, but it's not going to, because it makes them money, buddy. At the end of the day.
The fact that it's this game as well. I mean, if you think back to when this game was launched, it was an absolute shit show of a launch.
Yeah,
Street
exactly.
Fighter 5.
So maybe they are trying to recruit costs from wherever they can, but they should have just made the game better in the first place.
It's just such an incredible fuck you to a community that's had to remain loyal, as they basically released the game before it was finished and then spent a year trying to complete it.
It was terrible.
And then to chuck this in, it just seems so unnecessary and so unreasonable. It's crazy, but this is just, there's no end to this systematic destruction and watering down of AAA video games at this point. New games are, on average, worse than old ones. That's what I've discovered with this Game Pass thing. I think last time you were on the show, we were kind of alluding to that, where I was saying I really have crossed the line now. I've kind of had an epiphany, and I genuinely feel differently about video games than I did a few months back, because I've been pushed too far by these AAA companies, and I don't need to keep supporting them. I won't.
We haven't got to buy these games that come out every year or whatever. And if it's something that we're not going to enjoy, or hasn't evolved in a way that we seem fit, or however you want to say it, then I'm not going to part with my money. Like I think that's one of the reasons that I haven't jumped in on Hitman 2, because from what I hear, it's more of the same in the sense, which in one way that's good, but in another way, what's the new thing to really pull me in? Why should I buy this right now instead of waiting? Well, it's gone on in sale on Amazon for 20 quid. I think it was today, actually.
Fucking hell, really?
Yeah, so I was like, shit, I need to get some PSN credit up soon to maybe, hopefully, that's going to drop down at Christmas. That's what I'm thinking.
We've got older and more sensible, haven't we? And we don't need that shiny new thing straight away anymore.
I mean, part of it, over the past 3 years of doing the podcast was, because we do a podcast, we want to be playing the latest games, we want to be talking about them, so it's hot topic. But I think, the listener base that we have, be it however many it is, kind of hopefully listening for our views about whatever, not just because we play the latest games, because we fucking don't.
No, and there's lots of places you can go to hear,
Exactly.
we're not games journalists. You go listen to Giant Bomb, they'll tell you all about a load of games that aren't coming out for 3 weeks. That's not why you come here. So
no.
Yeah. I think that the answer really is to abandon day one. And I don't mean don't pre-order. I mean don't buy games when they're new. I mean, there's been a monumental shift in how long a game stays full price this year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In the last 8 to 10 months, we've gone from a situation where a new game comes out, a sort of top draw AAA game that tops the charts, and that thing will hold its value for 6 months, to a situation where you're lucky if you go 4 weeks before that thing's 20 quid off. And
it's been not even F1, worth it. FIFA, like both of those games dropped down to like
FIFA never used to drop, like between...
It was like 35 quid within, a few weeks. I was like, this is crazy. Absolutely insane. And,
it's just mad.
Like I just said, Hitman 2, like 20 quid. I don't know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Obviously, we spoke about it with Red Dead Redemption 2 when that came out. That game is not going to drop down to any price anytime soon, and that's why we knew that was going to happen. And I mean, if you're holding off for that game to drop down, you're going to be waiting a long time. I think GTA 5 has only just dropped down to like £12.50, like 5 years later.
Yeah, that thing didn't go on sale until around this time last year, and even then it was only sort of a tenner off.
Exactly, it's crazy.
It's a Rockstar title, it holds its value.
I was looking and that's it. You can understand the pedigree of certain games, but yeah, these yearly franchises and iterations of whatever game, then it's they don't hold their value like they used to, or they will be in a flash sale over a weekend at some point just to get us to buy it. Really, the people are like, well, I'm not going to buy it full price because either I know it's going to drop down or I don't want to spend that type of money on this game. I think they know that.
Yeah, and that's where it's going, those big reductions. Or you can wait for it to hit Game Pass, buddy. Which moves us on to number 2 in the news.
Like it.
This is Microsoft's equivalent of a stocking for each of its Xbox Game Pass subscribers, because here now is a selection of games going to hit the Game Pass in the next fortnight. We've already had several this month. As I said, Ashen is one of them. We also had... what else has been on there? I've been playing a mixture of all sorts of different things. There was another one hit today, that 2D kind of tower defense Knights of the Round Table game, which I can't remember the name of right now, but that hit the service today.
Castle Storm?
No, it's a little bit similar to that, but it's kind of a pixel art sort of proper 2D thing where you can kind of you build your village in the middle, and then you can kind of stride out to the left or to the right on little quests and stuff. It looks quite interesting. I'm looking forward to giving it a burn.
Nice.
Also joining Game Pass in the coming weeks, the next 2 or 3 weeks, in fact, Mortal Kombat 10. PES 2019, that's right, they're chucking PES on there. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice,
nice.
Ori and the Blind Forest,
very good game.
Shadow Warrior 2, Spin Tire's Mud Runner, and on Friday this week, Below is launching on the service, so that's a game that's going to be out on Xbox and PC, but if you're a Game Pass subscriber, then you'll be able to play it day one. And that
out of all of them, I want to play Mud Runner the most.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Ori. I'll dip into Mortal Kombat because I did enjoy a little bit of Injustice a little while ago.
Yeah.
And then obviously Hellblade, I'm very excited to play through.
No,
that's one
that'd be really good to see if it's worth. If it was worthy of getting all those bloody awards. BAFTA awards. Yeah. Where I fucking took the piss out of him. I was like, nah, it's bullshit.
So yeah, that's a selection of games. Obviously, the new Ori is going to be on that service day one as well when it comes out in February.
That's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. And as I mentioned, there are some really good bargains in terms of picking up that 12-month subscription. Even if yours hasn't run out yet, it just tacks it on, so you don't lose anything by picking it up when it's cheap. It just extends your subscription past when your current one ends. So, I sound like I'm advertising the service. I am, because it's really, really fucking
think it's
great.
good, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be talking about it so much if it was a pile of shite like whatever the PlayStation Now is. Yeah,
I mean, that's just ridiculous. That service is £13 a month compared to the 8 or 9 that Game Pass is. And you're talking a collection of PS3 titles. It would be like if Game Pass was £5 more and 90% of the titles were 360 games. It just it doesn't make sense, and Sony must know that. They're obviously not trying to compete in any way.
No.
So yeah, there we are. It's good news, and obviously means I'll have plenty to talk about in the coming weeks.
Gibbons, buddy.
Moving on to another thing that I really, really liked, Velocity 2X. The company that made that game are a Brighton-based team called Future Lab, and they've been a little bit quiet for a while. They were trying to crowdfund Velocity 2X on the Switch. They were struggling to find a publisher, but they have been working on something else, and it was revealed this week, and it is right up your alley, because you have always said you very much liked the idea of VR being used for tabletop games, tabletop simulators, being able to...
That sounds cool.
Being able to sort of sit on your sofa and 3 or 4 other people sitting on their sofas, and you're virtually all around a table, and you can fire up various like board games and stuff.
Sounds ace.
This is something that they've been working on, and it's called Mini Mech Mayhem, which is beautifully alliterated. And it's a VR game coming to all VR platforms, and it is a proper tabletop experience where you've got these sort of kind of like little robots that have a fight. It kind of looks a little bit like the weird sort of monster chess from Star Wars, but with sort of robots. And yeah, it looks like a sort of kind of a turn-based sort of thing where, you know, some slight sort of XCOM stuff going on here in terms of the mechanics as well. But essentially, you've got your little robots. And you put them down on the table against other people's little robots, and you all sit around a table and duke it out with them, which sounds pretty fucking interesting to me.
That sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah, Givens. There's a video of it on YouTube and on the Future Lab website if anyone wants to check it out from my slightly baffling description. And yeah, expect to see more of that in the new year, because it looks like it's well on the way to being ready to go. I don't know if they'll launch that on Vive or something, or if they'll just sort of, you know, soft release it on all platforms.
Yeah,
it's the sort of thing, again, this idea Xbox, Sony don't have an equivalent, and they probably should. This is you know, the sort of alpha stroke beta programs that they can have on the Xbox platform. And if Sony had something like that, then you could imagine lots of VR games benefiting heavily from a sort of alpha build, slightly lesser priced proof of concept type thing. So
that'd be cool.
It's not happening either way, but yeah, so we keep an eye on that. So only one more thing from me, buddy, because there's fuck all news, because it's nearly Christmas. For some reason, Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon 2 are getting remakes by a Polish mobile game developer called Forever Entertainment.
Okay.
I don't know why this is happening. Panzer Dragoon, never especially popular, very, you know, probably something to do with the fact that they launched on the Saturn, which didn't go down that well. I mean, there was a Dreamcast Panzer Dragoon that I had that was quite good.
Yeah.
But it just, I find it a little bit odd. And these guys, Forever Entertainment, they've never launched a game on a console. As far as I can tell, it's all mobile and tablet games.
Yeah,
free to play stuff.
It's going to be amazing, really. At the end of the day,
all the signs are there. Yeah,
I mean, sign me up right now.
Yeah, Gibbons. There we are. So yeah, fuck those on that one, buddy. But that's my news. So
nice, buddy.
It's probably time to hand over to you for my favourite section, which has been sorely missed, buddy, and that, of course, is Ash's News Favourite Things of the Week.
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's News Favourite Thing of the Week.
Cheers, buddy. As I've mentioned, I've been really up to date with gaming news and playing games this past couple of weeks. So I've got one thing for you here. And
I'll take it.
This is kind of grabbing at straws. It's absolute bollocks, really. But Sony had a TV exhibition thing a while ago. I think it was last month or something. And they were showing footage of Gran Turismo at 8K running at 120 frames per second. Now, this kind of spread into people speculating that, oh my god, the PS5 is going to run 8K at 120 frames per second. Now, obviously, that's a complete bullshit.
Yeah, there's no way.
But there was other rumours. What was it that I think we might have spoken about this before? That the guy who leaked details about Sony not being at E3.
Oh yeah.
And he also leaked or said that it's going to be 4K 60. I mean, that makes more sense than 8K 120.
I mean, if the PS5 isn't 4K 60, then I don't know what the fuck it's for, frankly. I don't know why I want
because
one,
we can do 4K 30 pretty much on the PS4 Pro. It's not true 4K,
least.
It's checkerboard or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, it's
the least I expect, 4K 60.
Imagine if it was 8K 120 though.
Yeah.
How much would that cost? It's like, let me just take out like a second mortgage for this thing. Yes.
Yeah, just you just do it. Get 3 more jobs, because that's
maybe that's their tactic, buddy.
They've done it before.
You'll pay for it. Yeah. Fuckers. Anyway, Xbox is the best.
Yeah.
So there you
it
go.
really isn't. It's fucking shite.
There's my news, favourite things of this week, buddy. Hopefully I'll have more next week.
Oh, well, thanks very much, buddy. That was your news, and before that was my news, and that, ladies and gentlemen, was the news. And now it's time for Out This Week.
Let's take a look at some games coming out this week. Probably filled with microtransactions, loot crates, pay-to-win mechanics. Because fuck you all. Fuck you all. Fuck you all. Fuck you all. Buy our shit.
And that's out this week. Yes, here we go, buddy. Some fucking tasty stuff this week.
3 cool games out this week.
Cool.
But, yeah, kind of underwhelming because 2 of them have been out before.
Yeah.
So, firstly, we have the aforementioned Below. That's coming to Game Pass and PC this week.
Nice.
I look forward to getting stuck in to that one. It's going to be cheeky. Elsewhere, Firewatch launches on the Switch. That is a fucking wonderful game.
How did they get that running on the Switch?
I don't know how, but they managed to get it running on the Switch. It's incredible.
Amazing.
I mean, that thing ran like shit when it launched on the PlayStation.
It did. It was terrible, wasn't it? But luckily, they patched it out and fixed it, and then added the audio commentary as well, which was really, really good. Enjoyed that a lot. Might have to do another playthrough of that at some point.
It's a great game. Absolutely fantastic mood it sort of sets. And, highly recommended if you're a Switch player who hasn't played Firewatch, then definite purchase that one. And
Gibbons.
Yeah, very, very cool. And finally, just before Christmas, Borderlands 2 VR is launching. It's going to be on the PlayStation Store this time next week. And, man, it's single player only because of the limitations of the hardware, I'd imagine. But I'm really interested to see some footage of that, see how it goes, see some reviews, because that could be amazing being in the world of Borderlands. It could be
absolutely amazing, or it could be completely terrifying. I don't really know where it's going to go, but yeah, it's going to be something. I'll tell you that.
I'm going to finally be able to see how tall I am compared to Claptrap. That's
true. Yeah.
Is he like a Johnny Five fucker, or is he more of a sort of Roomba?
I'd say so. Maybe he's like Short Circuit, really, really fucking small.
Yeah, could be. Batteries not included.
Exactly.
And other 80s films, that sort of thing. There's your games out this week, buddy.
That's when robots were
Borderlands
cool.
2. They were cool. Yeah, they absolutely were. The 80s was what it was all about. You had your Robocop. Yeah.
Transformers, I guess. They're like robots. They're in disguise.
Salad days.
Yeah. Look at whatever happened to robots, mate.
That's a good question. Very good question. I just want to use this moment very quickly, buddy. Just we're between sections, frankly.
Yeah.
Out this week is over. I've closed the door on that. Have you seen the trailer for the new adaptation of Watership Down?
I don't think so. No. Why?
Did you see Watership Down? The first one when you were a horrible film about rabbits killing each other.
That was
cartoon.
Great. Yeah, loved it.
I'm losing my little fucking mind here looking at this thing. The BBC are touting it big. For the there's lots. It's an all-star cast of voices, which obviously is meaningless. And the graphics, the computer graphics here are fucking diabolical. Like I can't believe. Apparently, this thing had a 20 million budget. I can't believe. It looks like I saw somewhere today. I was thinking it in my head and then read it. I think it might have been on like the Independent website or something. They gave it 1 out of 5, and they said that there are periods during this film, especially during the night scenes, when you feel basically like you're watching a cutscene from a PS2 game. And this is a major 2018 production. Supposed to be going up
Maybe
against
they're going for that retro look.
Fuck me. If anyone hasn't seen this, look it up. It is just horrible looking, and I couldn't watch that. It's like those like parody piss take animations you see on like with oh god, no, I don't know. I just wanted to mention how shit that looked, and it is kind of out this week because it is going to be it's going to be on the TV. But yeah, it looks fucking dreadful. I can't believe how bad it looks, and it's a joint Netflix BBC production. There's like no excuse whatsoever. I don't understand. It's bad.
No, I've just skipped like 30 seconds in. It's all choppy and really bad. Like the shadows are completely off. Like
so low poly.
Oh man, this is terrible.
Doesn't it look so bad?
This is absolutely. I mean, at work we make we make like 3D animations like for the prisoners to like walk around in. Like we make like kid stories. There's one called like Leo the Lion or whatever, where the dad or whatever like interacts with like the 3D character, says hello and stuff, and goes on a treasure hunt with him and things like that. I mean, I feel like we can do a job as good as this, if not better.
It looks like graduate, like Adobe Premiere or something, doesn't it? Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like the guys that have worked on it, like they've been working for like with Blender and like other like 3D animation like tools for a couple of years or something now, and like Jesus, this is woeful.
I thought it was a joke when I saw the trailer. I thought it was a joke.
Absolutely, just anyway. Yeah, no, you're spot on there. That's terrible.
So there we are. That is actually technically out this week.
The camera angles are all wrong.
Well, that's something that aggravates me more than anything in animated films is fucking up a camera angle when you have complete control over it.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can put that
thing anywhere.
Anyway, sorry.
Fucking terrible. Anyway, that was out this week, and a little moan as well. You're welcome, buddies.
Every week we end the show with questions and comments sent in by you. If you've got anything for us, just pop an email to the jfgpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or at justforgamers.co.uk.
And now it's time for JFG Street Beat.
You got a question we wanna know. Facebook, Twitter, we're on them all. So
Hit us up and be on the show. Beat. The JfG Street Beat.
Street beat.
We want to know.
Get on the show.
Get on the show. And
show.
we have got a little bit of a cheeky bit from everybody's favourite Cosmic Dad from the chat on the old Discord. You can get involved on our Discord chat buddies by going to
Discord,
www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk and finding the Discord link on there, and then joining our community. I've been having a little bit of a...
One sec. I had a fucking annoying problem with our website. For some reason, I'm on O2 with my mobile data.
Right.
And obviously I was without internet, so I was using that, and I was trying to refresh our podcast, and like it was refreshing, but then when I was trying to play it, it wouldn't play. And for some reason, like O2 Mobile has blocked archive.org, and I don't know why.
That's such a weird thing to do. It's just like a library website.
Yeah, I know. So I had to get a VPN on my phone and then go through that way to download our episodes. I was like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, so if you're on O2 and you can't get our website, our podcast, there you go. You need a VPN apparently.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
Don't ask. Yeah, mate. I don't know. I was fucking racking my brains about it for ages, and I was like, I'll just use a VPN. There we go.
That sucks as well, because there's literally nothing we can do about that.
No, there's nothing we can do about it.
And they're one of the biggest network providers. I presume most people download our podcasts on a wireless network rather than with their mobile data.
But if it wouldn't stream, it wouldn't do anything. Even if I went to our website specifically to stream it from our website, it was like, no, what are you on about? Fuck you. I was like, cool. This is
weird.
Awesome. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Cosmic Dad, here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's fine. I was saving some comments and stuff from people. We'll kind of filter through various different bits and pieces that we've had over the last few weeks while Ash has been away. And we'll start off with this. Cosmic Dad popped us a message on the Discord to say how much he's been enjoying GT Sport, and thanks for the recommendation. It went right down in that sale around Black Friday to, I think, £17.50 on the store, something like that. Fucking bargain. So he picked it up in the sales and is really enjoying it. He says he's 100%ed all the tutorials to gold standard, and now he's been working on the track acclimatization stuff, which I really enjoyed going through as well, just sort of teaching you the tracks in pieces, giving you targets for each one. Very, very cool. And he said on the chat, there's something for everyone in this package. I'm not interested in making my own decals and car designs, but fuck me, some of those on the Discover page are amazing. They must take hundreds of hours. He says, I was a Destiny dad, but I've now become a GT Sport dad instead. The Destiny grind just isn't for me anymore. I'm taking a break. I think you kind of feel the same, don't you?
Yeah, no, to be honest, it whittled out a bit. We couldn't get our raid team together, which was a shame. That kind of filtered out as well. Did all I could do with Forsaken. The new content drop has come in now, the Black Armory, but from what I'm hearing, it's not great. It's just more of the same. Quite the heavy grind for no actual reward, which is a shame. I'm going to dip my toe back into it when I start playing some more fucking PlayStation over the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, it's still, I think, going to be a bit light on the old game front for me over the next couple of weeks, I must say.
That's understandable, man.
Yeah, Gibbons. But yeah, it was the same last year. It's always nice to take a break from games that you plow way too many hours into, and then hopefully come back to at some point. But if not, you've
had your fill.
Had fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've done your bit. But yeah, no, fucking awesome news about GT Sport. Very cool, and it's glad. I love it when we hear from people that have been like, oh yeah, we've taken your. I don't know why I went a bit weird with my voice out. I'm glad, when people say they've taken us up on our recommendations for certain games. I don't know. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing this right in a way.
Yeah, it's literally what we're fucking here for. So yeah, like you, I just love it. I'm really pleased, and that's great. That's great that you're enjoying it. And yeah, there you go. That game is brilliant, buddies. Pick that shit up. It's the racer that you need in your life.
It's the ultimate racing sim.
Yeah, maybe not that, but it's very, very, very good all the same. Cosmic Dad also mentions, weighed in on our discussion we were having a little while ago about loot crates and cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah.
Saying that he's fine with them if they're purely cosmetic, but thinks that there should always be a percentage chance of what you're going to get clearly displayed. He also quite rightly believes that whatever you think of the microtransaction situation, not enough people are going to vote with their wallets, so it's here to stay, and you just have to buy games you're happy with, sort of morally.
Totally.
And he's absolutely right. Like, you have to remember every time there's a massive scandal in the industry, like the Battlefront thing, for example, that game sold millions of copies despite all of the stuff around it, and
all the bad press and everything.
Yeah, but the bad press is limited to people who are so enthusiastic about video games that they're reading news about them on a weekly basis.
Exactly,
and that makes up probably I would pretty boldly say 5% of people who buy video games. So really, it doesn't matter what we fucking think about it, because it's not going to stop these companies. Obviously, it's different with the loot box scenario in that governments may well step in, but that's not going to prevent microtransactions and marketplaces and secondary currencies. They are here to stay in the big titles. And you just have to decide how you're going to deal with that. I'm dealing with it by no longer buying games when they first come out, seeing how things go, and then either picking up stuff in deep sale or maybe subscribing to services instead. But that's not going to make it go away. I'm just not injecting my money into it anymore.
Yeah. I think we've always had that stance as well, to be honest, which is a good thing.
Gibbons. It's a full-blown Gibbon.
Not the whole point, but, you know, the final point that you said, just not putting your money into it if you don't agree with it.
Gibbons. Yeah, you got to. And, no, it's not going to go away because not enough people are going to vote with their wallets, but that doesn't mean you can't.
Yeah, true.
So finally, buddy, I think we've got the latest Gleam competition, don't we, here?
Oh, yeah, finished, buddy. I haven't put a new one up yet, but I will do. I'll do it like this week, maybe on Friday or something, get another one up there.
Gibbons. This was the competition on Gleam.io for Zombie Night Terror, and our winner is Jennifer Keating, who, from her email address, is definitely a video games fan and not someone who's just signed up to lots of competitions. So congratulations, Jennifer Keating. You have won Zombie Night Terror, and I'll be whittling that code over to you in the coming days. And keep listening, buddies. As Ash said, we'll have a new competition going up at some point soon. So if you head over to www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, you can find all of the details just by scrolling down on our main page there, and jump in on another competition. And as ever, thanks very much to JJ for very often supplying us with the codes, courtesy of his humble bundle.
As always. Finally, buddy, I'm just going to say, Christmas time's upon us, festivities and cheery, and the time for giving.
Yeah.
We don't do this very often, but
about once a year, in fact.
Yeah, it's probably about this time of year. Our subs are coming up, not till February, when we need to renew our fucking whatever things we have to pay for. Not a lot. I do it on the absolute minimum cheapest by moving our service from server to server, from company to company. It's a massive ball ache for me, but it saves us about 30 quid a year, so it's probably worth it. So yeah, if you feel like just chucking us like a quid or anything, whatever, like, you don't have to, but muchly appreciated, buddies. It keeps us going, doing this massively retarded podcast.
Gibbons, if you'd like to contribute, then details on our website for that. And we're very proud of the fact that A, we've never had any sort of advertising on our podcast, and B, you guys have literally funded this show's existence from day one. We've been self-sufficient via donations from you wonderful people every single year since we started. This is show 193, and we're still going strong. And thanks very, very much to everyone who's chipped in the past. It really does make
very much
a massive difference to us. So I think that'll about do us, buddy, for episode 193, and it's been fun and good to have you back as well, B.
Thanks. Good to be back. I'm incredibly uncomfortable. I feel like I'm going to get some cramp in my... What's the bit by your arse and your leg around there somewhere anytime soon. It's going to be fun that later, I believe. But luckily the drinking has been going on. I'm feeling about there now, which is nice. I'm going to have to get some like soundproofing, I think, in this room to dull my voice and all the echo and stuff. I'll look at getting some cheap stuff in the coming weeks. Probably not till the new year, though. I reckon that's when I'll start on this room. So, unfortunately, buddies, until then, you're going to have to deal with whatever this is. Maybe I'll just get some big fucking curtains and just drape them over the top of me or something.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, it doesn't take very much, does it? You know?
No, it really doesn't.
It's so weird when you go into a room that's got like 3 items of furniture in it versus one that's not, and the sort of level of like acoustic ambience is so reduced.
Yeah, it's incredible. So yeah, and once again, apologising for that, but it will get rectified in the future.
Gibbons, buddy. Well, beautiful. Are you sticking about for some games, or have you got to head off?
I don't know yet. Well, I'll go and see what the missus is doing, because it's not pleasant being in the next room, because my voice because it's not super deep. It resonates through to the next room and stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Gibbons, fair play, buddy. Well, we'll play it by ears then. But either way, good to have you back, and thanks to everyone for listening and contributors as well this week. And we'll be back next week for our last show before Christmas.
Christmas.
Cheeky times, and then of course I suppose we'll be thinking about Game of the Year after that, and going on to that.
What are you hoping for Christmas?
It's been a very long time since anyone's bought me anything I wanted. I tend to just get my own stuff for myself before Christmas these days. I
know. I nearly bought a 4K monitor today as well. I was like, ooh, that'd be nice.
Okay.
It was on sale for like 170 quid. I was like, that's really cheap. It was a decent one as well, but I was like, I can't afford it. And I was like, I could just justify that as my Christmas present for me.
Well, that's often how it works, especially with us having... we've both got our birthdays within 6 weeks of Christmas the other side as well, so exactly. often chip in and stuff. But no, to be honest, I think the thing I'm most excited about possibly getting this year is a brand new set of kitchen knives, buddy.
Fucking sweet, buddy. I'm looking forward to getting some beard oils. So I'm still growing the beard, buddy. It's still going.
It's fleshing it out. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that's where we are, buddies. A set of knives and some beard oil. Fuck me. Well, what can you say?
That's life, buddy.
That's getting old. That's what that is.
Yeah. Fucking sweet. Maybe some pants and socks and a new set of slippers as well.
Boots and pants. Boots and pants. Boots and pants. Yeah, sound. What I'd really like is Drive Hub, the converter that allows me to use my wheel on the Xbox, but I know I won't get it, buddies.
That would be good for you, wouldn't it?
I won't get that. That'll have to be
no.
birthday, I think. But yeah.
I mean, I've got a nice list of like PlayStation VR, a new monitor, Xbox One. You know,
well, maybe next week we can do our ideal top 5 Christmas presents.
That's it, isn't it? Oh, well,
have a think throughout the week, and
I need to get 2 more beard oils. 4.
I'll get the next pod notes up now, and we can chuck it in the document ready for next week.
Nice, I like it.
Beautiful
preparation,
well, cool.
buddy.
Let's fuck off then, shall we? Thanks so much for listening, everyone, and hope you're feeling festive, enjoying your Christmas times. And if you hate Christmas, then I hope you're managing to avoid all of the festive cheer as best you can. There'll be much more of that from us next week, so fuck you. Until then, thanks so much, buddies. I've been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG podcast with Ash and me, Alex. You can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you'll also find our Discord and Street Beat if you want to get involved with the show. Our Facebook is /the JfG podcast, and our Twitter handle is @the JfG podcast. We're on all those video streaming sites too, buddies, from TubeTube to twitch.tv /the JfG podcast to mixer.com, aka beam.fucking-pro. We've got a PS4 community you can join, just search the JfG podcast on there, and we're also on Google Plus if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We'll catch you next time.